Hello everyone, welcome to Owned Curiosity Channel. Today, I will tell in detail the story of Qusay Hussein, the mastermind behind the biggest robbery in history. Get comfortable because this is quite a story.
Who was Qusay Hussein?
Qusay Saddam Hussein al-Tikriti was born in Iraq on May 17, 1966. He was the second son of Iraqi President Saddam Hussein with his first wife and cousin, Sajida Talfa. Unlike his older brother Qusay Hussein, known for his flamboyant and violent life, Qusay preferred to maintain a low profile and wield power behind the scenes. Qusay studied computer engineering at the University of Technology in Baghdad. After graduating, he joined the Iraqi intelligence services. In the mid-1990s, he became leader of the Iraqi Republican Guard, an elite military unit responsible for safeguarding Saddam Hussein's Ba'athist regime. Under Qusay's command, the Republican Guard is believed to have committed grave human rights violations, including the mass murder of thousands of Kurdish political activists and members of Iraq's Shiite majority. Qusay also oversaw the destruction of marshes in southern Iraq, an act that displaced more than 100,000 Shiite minority people living in the region. The invasion of Iraq. In March 2003, a U.S.-led military coalition invaded Iraq with the goal of overthrowing Saddam Hussein. American President George W. Bush accused Saddam of harboring weapons of mass destruction and having ties to terrorist groups, which later proved to be false. After an ultimatum for Saddam Hussein and his sons to leave the country in 48 hours, the U.S. and allies began an aerial bombing campaign on March 19th. Within days, coalition troops advanced through Iraq and took control of important cities like Nasiriyah, Basra, and Kirkuk. On April 9th, fighting reached the capital Baghdad. American tanks and infantry clashed with pockets of resistance from the Republican Guard at the city entrance. After intense days, Baghdad was taken, and Saddam's administration collapsed. The biggest robbery in history. At the height of the invasion and bombings in Baghdad, Qusay Hussein orchestrated the biggest robbery in history. On the morning of March 18th, witnesses reported seeing 3 to 4 large trucks parked outside the headquarters of the Central Bank of Iraq. Qusay entered the building accompanied by Abd Hamid Mahmoud, Saddam's personal secretary and assistant. Inside, Qusay handed the bank manager a note marked "Top Secret." Written and signed by Saddam Hussein, the note instructed the bank manager to deliver to Qusay the amount of $920 million US dollars and 90 million euros. The stated reason was to protect this money from American aggression. For approximately 5 hours, bank employees monitored closely by Qusay's armed guards loaded heavy metal boxes containing bundles of $100 bills into the trucks parked outside. When the operation ended, Qusay and his accomplice left the premises carrying no less than $1.4 billion US dollars in cash. The end of the Husseins. After the heist, Qusay remained by his father's side, resisting the invasion, first in Baghdad and later in the city of Mosul. On July 22, 2003, American troops located and surrounded a hideout where Qusay, his brother Qusay, and Qusay's son were staying. In the shootout that followed, the 3 were killed. Months later, on December 13th, Saddam Hussein himself was captured by American soldiers near Tikrit. He was later tried for crimes against humanity and hanged on December 30th, 2006. The mystery of the missing money. In April 2003, U.S. soldiers raided one of Saddam Hussein's many palaces in Baghdad. Upon examining the site, they found a false wall hiding dozens of boxes identical to those used during the $1 million robbery. Random checks showed each box contained $4 million US dollars in $100 bills. In total, $661.8 million was recovered in that palace alone. However, of the over $1 billion stolen by Qusay, around $379 million were never found. To this day, it is unclear what exactly happened to that huge amount. Some speculate the money secretly ended up in the pockets of Iraqi or even American army officials. Others believe it is hidden somewhere in the Middle East, waiting to be recovered. This was the intriguing and dramatic story of Qusay Hussein, the man behind the biggest robbery in history. His audacious plan to loot the central bank of Iraq at the height of the American invasion exemplifies the greed and corruption of Saddam Hussein's regime. The whereabouts of the millions that were never recovered remains a mystery and matter of speculation. I hope you enjoyed this fascinating case. Until next time.